Mr. James Maley, Reel 3. Now, you were telling me that you were in the Second World War in the
Yes.
infantry. Can you tell me which unit you joined and when?
Yes, well, when I came back from Spain, the first thing I did was get my rifle, which was in the house, the British Army rifle, and I took it back to the territorial unit. And we just said, how did you get on in Spain? I told them that was good. Well, when the Second World War started, I hadn't made up my mind whether I'd go or not go. And at that time, you could either volunteer or register and your age limit. And then one night I was speaking to Shelton Cross, and that happened. This woman wanted to know why I wasn't in the army. So I decided then and there on two things, that I was getting up the following morning, volunteering for the army, and I wasn't going. So I got the following morning, went over to Simongus Halls, volunteered, got my medical, and was put down for the RAF. Then I got my papers telling me I was going to Padgate on Fair Monday 1940. And the same day, I got word that I was to go to Labour Exchange. And I went there, and they told me, you don't have to register, you've already volunteered. Well, when I went back to South to the Simongus Halls to go to Padgate, the officer spoke to me and I spoke to him. And he's looking at me and he said, you're not going, you're exempt. I said, but I must go, I want to fight against fascism. He said, no, you're exempt.
When was this? Which year was this?
July 1940. So I come out, and then I got word to go up to the National Service place in Waterloo Street. And they said, you're Mr. James Maley. I said, yes. He said, well, you're exempt for all time. I said, but I'm unemployed and I want to go. No, he said, you're not going.
Was that because of Spain?
Yes, because of Spain. So I was unemployed, and then at the beginning of November 1940, I was sent to work in Parkhead Forge.
What job were you doing?
Bricklayer's labourer, 2 to 10 shift. Here about 45, getting dark. And there was a big nest nut about 100 yards away, and the door opened and the light shone out and the door shut. Door opened, light shone out and the door shut. We just had wee tiny lights round about. Then a voice shouted, hey, you two, come on over. There were two of us loading rubbish into this wagon. So we went over and it was full of men, and there were 2 men at a table. And they were all shouting and bawling after the union. So it transpired that they'd been at a tribunal, these 2 men, along with men from Dale and Craig and Garn, some place out near Paisley West. I transpired that everybody in Parkhead Forge and Dale and Garn place, whatever it was, had a bonus except the British labourers. And all shouting after the union. So we come out and walked over to the wagon and started to load the rubbish. And this fella's looking at me, he said, you know, you can get them the bonus. I said, I already don't know, I'm going to get them the bonus. I said, but not tomorrow. I said, it'll take a little while. And I told him what had happened previously and what was going to happen next. I said, you know, I said, sooner or later, someone will call a meeting to restart the union. I said, but when it'll be, I don't know, but when it does, I'll become the chairman. So, at the beginning of April 1941, there was a meeting called for the church hall in Sorby Street, Westmuir Street. And I went there on the Sunday and I became the chairman. 4 weeks later, we put a ban on overtime. And the furnaces started to run down. Then I called a strike. And went on strike. And I was going on holiday on the Saturday down to Ayr. And the Saturday and the Sunday morning, I got a telegram telling me to come back to the forge, which means they must have known where I was. And back to the forge, and they told me the strike was, the bonus was being granted to try and start a shift that night. Well, after that Russia came into the war, and I'm back up to the National Service Place in Waterloo Street, and I said, I'm Mr. James Maley. And he looked up and said, "You want to join now?" I said, "Yes." "I'll go to Dumbarton Road." And I went to Dumbarton Road and I got put into the Royal Artillery. I done my 3-month service and volunteered then for overseas service. And finished up in Burma.
So you were in the King's Own Scottish Borderers?
No, the Royal Artillery at the start. And then...
Which unit of the Royal Artillery were you in?
Well, it was heavy aircraft. The heavy aircraft, what they called it.
And you went to India?
India.
With the Royal Artillery?
Yes.
You were telling me that in India you were involved in political work in the army?
Yes, as soon as I come off the boat in Bombay, the first thing I did was start to talk. And then I found out, by looking at a big poster, that the Communist Party members were in prison in Bombay. This was despite the fact that the war had been on for over two years and Russia was in the war. So, with the fall of Singapore, Britain then found out she needed help. And Gandhi and Nehru were against the war, and the only people for the war were the communists in India. So that the communists were released for to be used in a way by the British government, because it was up to the communists what they would do. Well, I went to that meeting in the big hall, in uniform, and then I was invited down by the students to speak to them in their hall. But all during the time I was in Bombay and Marine Drive, all I did was talk to the Indians on politics. And the women would walk up and down and freeze with the Indian flag. Just like Union Jack, red, white and blue, or Irish flag, green, white and gold, their colours. And I would talk to them and I'd explain the war to them. And I'd tell them that after the war was finished, the British would no longer be able to hold them the way she was doing before. And I told the communists, I said, you know, when the war's finished, rather than hand over power to you, they'll hand it over to Gandhi and Nehru, but although they're against the war, because it's safer. And that's what happened. But I did a lot of talking to the troops in different places, the British troops, on the reasons, the things leading up to the war, why the war started, and why it changed when Russia came into the war.
Do you remember the names of any of the Indian communists with whom you came into close contact in India?
Well, I never asked any names. But in a place called, I went on holiday one fortnight in Darjeeling in 1944, and I met this British soldier. Now, there's a lot of soldiers in India, for by myself, who had been in the Communist Party, but I never asked them if they were in it. But when we doing the talking, they knew I was it. And he said to me, he said, "Oh, thank God you're here." He said, "Because I've been talking to some Indians." And he said, "I can't talk, you know, I mean, politically." He said, "I know you can talk." He said, "But what about arranging a meeting?" He said, "I'm going back." So he took me down and he introduced me. And this man, he worked in Lloyd's Bank in Darjeeling, could speak English. And up in this big attic, there'd be about 300 of them. And I spoke on the war and recited a little poem, a little song we used to sing.
What was it?
Should I ever be a soldier, neath the red flag I will fight. Should I gun I ever shoulder, it will be to crush the tyrant's might. Join the army of the towers. Men and women fall in line. Workers of the world unite and do their duty in the fight for liberty.
Where did you learn this?
In the Communist Party. Well, he translated the speech and he gave me his name and everything else to it, but a long time ago, and just we're moving back and forth until I got lost. He worked in Lloyd's Bank in Darjeeling.
So you were addressing audiences of Indians,
Aye.
And a translator was translating what you said?
That's right. I did a lot of speaking, but...
What did the army think about what you were doing?
Well, the funny thing about it is this, I found out that as long as I went away, I did about it, they didn't come near me, so I didn't show any fear. The Communist Party had been made illegal.
But the army didn't say to you
No.
that you were breaking army rules?
No, there was a meeting arranged in Bangalore. There were 700 British troops there of all ranks. Sherwood Foresters, Durbley Infantry, Cameronians, Gordons. And I spoke there for 2 hours, the East Soldiers. I was up for posting the next morning to the 6 Punjabs. But I went round and saw the captain and I got it rescinded. No, I took the whole thing in my stride. The same as I went to Camilla and we're going up in the plane in Camilla, March 1945. And this chap was anti-communist. I said, come on, I'll show you something. So we went into this wee bookshop in Camilla. And I bought some pamphlets. So we come out and I'm going up and I'm reading them and we're going to look at the pictures. In the main street, it's only, let me say, it's all shanty. And we went in and sat down, lights were still on. You had the door opened and there were 2 MPs with an Indian in plain clothes with them. And he's pointed to the 2 of us and we got called out. And I said to the MPs, oh, is it this stuff here? I said, I'm a member of the Communist Party. And they're looking at me and looking at each other. You see, they saw that there was no fear. You know, it's all right. So I went back the following morning myself to the bookshop. And the man said, the district commissioner of police was in here asking about you. I said, look, what's he going to do? You can't, you're a legal party now. You're not illegal. I said, you've got a flag flying up there. I said, don't worry. I said, they can do nothing to me. What are they going to do? That was all. No, I never had any hard truck from the British Army either. Even the officers who knew me just say to me, they know about you. And one colonel said to me, I don't know whether you can walk, but he said, my Christ, you can talk. No, I would never grumble against the British Army either. I mean, I couldn't grumble. I'm not a grumbler in that line.
When did you transfer from the Royal Artillery to the King's Own Scottish Borders?
Just the beginning of 45. I went up the line right away to Burma, like, you know. We flew from Camilla.
So you were in Mandalay and Rangoon, you said?
And Prom. We cruised over to a place called, was it Chan, or the first place. Well, I was lucky in a sense, and some soldiers are unlucky. The day they were moving up, I was a bunch from Hamilton, and you know, they got killed in the one day. You see, I went up a couple of days after them. It was big fields, like big fields are, and they fenced off, and another field and no fields. Well, I believe they were in charge. They all came from Hamilton. They went across this field. They couldn't see a thing. There could have been 100 men on the other side of the fields with hedges. They got bumped off. You see, it's like this house here, going through here, and there's a wall up here, and don't know who's the side of that wall, or that wall. Instead of branching out and put a man on the other field, and then one man going forward himself right up to the top in each fields, then you know whether there's anyone there or not. See, it's what you call dead ground. What you can't see is...
Well.
But in my first action, I got made a Lance Corporal.
What rank did you finish up as?
No rank at all, because I got made a Lance Corporal in action. And when we came to action in June 45, after 3 months, we went to 2 places. One place was the Allen Mayo and one was the Mayo. And then we were coming home, told we were coming home. I got a tape taken off me. But I didn't bother about the tape. What was I want tapes for? But I had a good time. And we came to action in June 45 after 3 months. And this chap was going down to the 14th CCS hospital. He came from Swinburne. And I went with him, and the nurse said, the matron said, usually they see QSBs. I said, yes. Said, would you like a job here? So I got a job dishing out to 100 men mechrachine tablets, sulfamide and everything else in this hospital. And I was told, well, each man gets a bottle of beer a day and cigarettes. And then there was bottles of lime juice and that they got dished out. Well, anybody that was in the Queens, the South Lancs, or the QSBs, got an extra bottle of beer. I had 6 every day. Instead of claiming for 100 men, I claimed for 150. And that was Almere. And I lay out in the sun there in Almere. And when they sent word out after 7 weeks for I was going home, I didn't feel like going home. Actually, I could have stayed there for life.
Which battalion of the KOSB were you in?
2nd Battalion.